Welcome everyone to Dynasty the Podcast Show. I am your host, Ira Thomas Bush IV, and this is Dynasty the Podcast Show. All right, I just want to say, man, I just want to start off my show by saying I'm very thankful and grateful for waking up this morning. Um, Today's episode and show is called Spiritual Warfare. The reason why I named it spiritual warfare is for the people that are spiritually poor. This is a show that I'm only going to dedicate to you one time. This is a show for you people who have a hard time of getting the message of your life and my life. It's not the same. Your cards you was dealt and my cards that I was dealt, it's not the same. And all this line has caught up to everybody. It's going on 30 years. Some of these people have harassed my spirit. They have harassed my parents' spirit for over 50 plus years because they're actually since she was a baby. And this goes for any race, any culture that feels the need to continue to do what they did and not have the just not have that in a spirit and heart to move on in their life. So I told y'all I don't really go off the stuff that the crazy thing is I went so many years as a young person of not being attacked, and I was still kind of in the same. So for those people who protected me my whole life and that really had the best interest of me, I appreciate them because now as a full grown adult, I can handle anything that comes towards me. People want to put me in a position of weak, but that's not what happened. That's not what it is. I don't want to make this like an announcement what happened this morning, but I got kind of out of character because I was still kind of waking up. I stayed, I stayed asleep till 6:15 this morning. I'm at the breakfast table at 6:30 on the head, so I still kind of getting out of that grumpiness when I first wake up. And that happens to me all the time. This is known facts. I speak on it all the time. That's when I'm at my I'm not weak. I'm just not at that. I'm just not at that. My patience level is not that great at that point of the day. So I kind of took a step. I wouldn't even call it a step. I took a half step backwards. And, I kept it moving. I still got what I needed to get done this morning. I'm still here doing my show. And that's pretty much it. I just want that was, it's not the basis of it, but it goes right into talking about people being fake leaders as well. What I say, I did one time, I say twice, because I was one time, somebody reached out to me and told me to come speak with them and sit with them because it's been a long time. I didn't do it. And that put a trust gap between me and him, but it ain't changed our relationship or as friends, and that for especially for me, I'm the younger one. So, and then it goes the same thing when I told a family member I was gonna be at one of their video shoots. I didn't come because I just didn't have, I just wasn't. It wasn't because I didn't want to support. It's because I didn't like how I didn't have the right. I didn't have an outfit. I didn't have the funds to get there and back properly, and even enjoy my time being in my hometown. It was just one of those situations. That was mainly what it was. It wasn't because I didn't want to go. And those are some of the stuff that these are incidents that kind of put me back when it comes to separation from people that I would like to be around. And then, like I said, these people are very thorough. These are some of the people that I learned to, well, my word is my word, and that's what I'm gonna be. These are some of the main people that showed me that. So, this is like, I ain't really tripping about it. It just happened like the space I'm in right now. I'd be like, dang, this I probably could have been on a whole different trajectory. You feel me? Like in an instance, like just being in a different place, even for them too as well. And I know what type of situation it is now that we all got children. So that's not a big deal. It's just we got to raise our children in a whole different manner. That comes to the worldwide type of situation, which is this person trying to create a whole World War IV or III or whatever they calling it, because this man has plateaued himself into destruction, and he wants everybody to be a part of the destruction. It's like, oh, we're fighting for oil prices, and then you're killing people. Then there's files and videos of people coming out saying that you are like some of the people that eat humans and enslave men and women, young children, and weak people. And you want to come out here and want people to go to war for you and go over here and blow something up for you. It's like, that's when it comes to that spiritual warfare. You're poor. You might have all the money in the world, but you're a poor man. You're a poor female. Whoever is following you is a poor person. And that's what I learned at a young age about being spiritually inclined, spiritually intact, and having the you know what, to really stand on something. You know what I'm saying? And this goes right to it. The people that I was raised on, and my parents and my grandparents, they're not standing for that. I could almost, they want us to be protected. They want us to live. But this the trajectory that they're the propaganda that they putting out is not good. It's not pointed towards success. We're gonna be in an uphill battle after we attack these people. The stuff that's coming out, I hope it's AI. I hope it's artificial intelligence. Supposedly, this person having the person that's supposed to be leading is supposedly, I'm gonna say supposedly, leading this country that I live in, is having a press conference at 1. I seen it on the news this morning. I will not be attending or listening to that because I'm doing my own thing. I'm minding my own business, and I ain't that far from where he having it at, but I'm still minding my own business. And that's what the problem is. They want to intertwine my business with their business. And that's been going on since I don't know when. Since I talked about it this weekend on the Elite State of the Union about these people killing people for minding their business. Nobody want to be in the war that you in. Nobody. I seen a video of a white female soldier crying, talking about she miss her family. Why you crying like that? Go fight the people that's putting you in it. We need your help. You a white female. Y'all ain't doing nothing but crying and whining now. Y'all want to help these people jump down. Don't want to put the right people in charge. Boom. Now all of a sudden you miss your family. People getting blowed up every day. You can't even breathe over there. I seen that video. I was like, well, I don't know what they got going on because they actually not doing what they supposed to be doing. They actually going to get down what to get down. And that's improper. With that being said, I'm gonna change gears a little bit. I'm not gonna speak on that because I don't really know what the situation is. At this point, I wrote the United Nations on Twitter yesterday and said I'm scared. I might not be as serious. I might be a little sarcastic because I ain't intimidated by it. But I'm just scared for the main thing. I'm gonna be more detailed about what I'm scared about. I'm not scared as a man. I'm scared for the future that I predicted in my mind did not be accomplished because we're gonna have so many boundaries and rules and regulations and how I want this. It's not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be in an entrapment type of situation with nothing. At this point, we should have been worked out these situations: money, housing, clothing, science. Everything has been worked on for a long time in my generation. The technology we have to our disposal is the reason why nobody should be even stressing. People want to control minds and people, and this is why they over there warring. They want to steal something from people that ain't trying to get something stolen from. They don't want. And the crazy thing is, in the Middle East, how it's designed, these people are fractured in a whole different way that we will never be fractured. After they blow them up and do all that stuff they do, they lead the people in despair. Children, women, all kind of people are not going to be alive with the stuff that they're doing. They don't have a care in the world about that. So you know what they think about our women and children? They want to do the same thing. And they got family members living in this country already. That's the key thing. Over 1 million people from that country probably live in the United States already. So you're gonna have And I would say at least 30% of them are guaranteed are going to find a way to poke a hole in the United States of America, if not more than that, because of the situation that's going on over there. And I don't even know how many people in them areas that they blowing up, but it's just the look. It's the propaganda that they putting out. It's the kind of thing that you can't just waltz past and be like, oh, really? Yeah, that's a great. I'm not even tied to this place. I'm just confused about why they think that should be promoted. Why they think that should be the thing to do in 2026. All this real stuff we got going on. All these different world leaders that are paying attention. I don't know if they're in agreements with it. I don't know if they did stuff to other people. I do not know, but it's just confusion on top of confusion. They got all these. It's kind of like you telling us what you doing, but you not telling us the main reasons. You telling us it's about oil fields and stuff. Like you ain't even telling us the real reason. You hide from something. That's the main thing I get from it. You hide from something. You hide from the truth, and that is the main reason that it's going on. But like I said, I'm going to shift gears. I'm going to speak on what I did this Sunday, and I had Bible study on I think Friday. So I'm gonna speak on the stuff that I spoke on because I try not to get too in that mode of like I feel like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what is going on. That's why I'm like, that's why I speak on it. All I can get is reports back of stupidity. And then it goes right back into what we talking about warfare. I mean spiritual warfare. Friday was a great the minister that was doing the Bible study was Minister Michael. That was his name. I forgot what church he was exactly from, but it was very I like getting the feedback from somebody. And he was speaking real fast, so I try to put their notes out in a manner where it just sounds like them speaking, not me. So because it was very on par with what's going on. It's like that repeat of history was the lesson, and like I said, the book that the people who the Bible is a reference to me. It's not something I would hold. When I talk to my child, I tell her make sure you don't lose the ability to write, to express yourself, because you live your own life. No matter how much you go to church, and she got Crescent too. I don't know if she's her mom took her to get baptized yet. I got baptized at 5. You're only supposed to do those things like once. You're not supposed to do that more than one time, because the first time you did it, that means you wasn't committed to whatever drives you spiritually. And I told all of them, I told her that, I told her my niece and nephew that, and I know they understand that. So they're not evil people. They don't have an evil mindset. They always could tap into their grandparents and their mothers, so they know these things already out the gate. Then you get down to the Bible. And I've been around the Bible for a long time, for over 30 years. I've been going to all types of events and sermons, and it's the same 1-2 step. So God so loved the world and blah 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 and this and this and that. And I ain't saying the blah 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 in a negative manner. I'm saying blah 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 that it's the same thing coming out of everybody's mouth. These people reference the Bible just for clout. They reference the Bible to gain recognition. They reference the most famous quotes out of the book just to gain recognition. These people not even living right. They not even living that. They not living the word of God in that book. And a lot of that stem for you to stay at a note at that low like this. You see how, like, say the hilltop is right here. They want you right up under that hill, and it's all based off Jesus, if that makes sense, or whoever the Christ, Jesus, the God, the Spirit, the one being. And I'm not. Most people have different opinions on. They decipher the Bible of what God is. If you read that Bible, if you read the Bible, there's so many instances where they talk about the Spirit of God being in people and them possessing that Spirit, and them in that moment being God-like. So many instances. So you cannot tell me that God was, is God-like people in Africa, and probably a little spread out in Asia and South America and the people that they stole. But it's like it's so watered down in America. You got to go to a whole different plane, and it's like it comes down to the teaching. It comes down to not losing that tradition of what made these people godlike, what made them tap into a different type of energy to possess and to heal, to gain strength, to protect their villages and the land that they live on. This is what I mean. My belief in God is the spirit, the book. That's the most godlike thing that you could believe in is the spirit. A plant can heal you, water can heal you. This is all stuff that you have to tap in. You have to be, let's say, like, you have to be in that moment of, it has to align that way for you to get healed or for you to get that internal energy. And like, people are actually manipulating these types of energy. These people are stealing energy and trying to put it in themselves or put it in other people because the color of their skin. That's some of the most low ranking, low level type of, like, that's not it. That's not changing yourself. You're stealing from somebody that God wants to be changing the world. You're stealing from somebody that's God like in an instant. You're messing with people's sleep and dreams, and you're not understanding that is causing chaos on a whole nother level. You're delaying people that don't need to be delayed. You're causing wars that don't need to be caused. You're creating separation and division that don't need to be separation and division. This is some of the worst. People have gone crazy about this. This is some of the worst type of people that are even speaking out loud right now. These are false idols, false everything. They not even the people that need to be standing there speaking right now. This is some of the most. And then I need the help of the real women out there to understand this. You being a female, you speaking up, and you got to make sure you gather your troops, and then you got to get the strongest warriors. Cause what I'm on right now, I go to the states. Okay, it ain't nothing bigger than Florida or Washington D.C. in the United States of America. That's just some of the biggest areas where it comes to news, where it comes to people telling people what to do, or your position. So I just look at it like I see the same type of downfall or lack thereof vision coming out of these areas. It's a lot of hype and it's no substance. It's no real. It's like when LeBron gotta actually go out there and drop 40. When he throw that powder in the sky, that's just for the look. That's just for the entertainment part of it. You get what I'm trying to say? You remember them shoes where you had to pump up, and they say you could jump real high. When you pump them up, you still was gonna jump the same amount of height. You actually got to go out there and jump though. You actually got to put in the work beforehand and be. You have to have the God gives ability to jump that high. It doesn't matter, that was just to sell the product. That was just to sell. So some people talk a good game, some people are the good game, and we trying to figure. And a lot of people right now are the good game. You know what I'm saying? They just talking the good game. Especially the people that's speaking for the United States of America right now, especially the people that call themselves in charge and in control of the population right now. They don't know what the hell going on. They don't have a clue. They don't even know how to put the right people in place. So with that being said, I just had to break it down in dumb way and all that. And before I even I'm gonna continue to I'm gonna break down the stuff that we spoke on. It was very quick notes, so it might sound a little everywhere, but let's go right into it. This is some of the stuff that he said. terrorist sleeper terrorist sleeper agent. That's something he spoke on, and that's something that I was saying. This he basically described this as people who appear as one thing and then be the complete opposite. That's what he called a terrorist sleeper agent. And I was just describing those are the people that call themselves running the country. These are people that call themselves making deals for the country and all sorts of things. So yeah. Then he was speaking on saying God's one of God's main assignment going to the cross was to get people to follow him. You know, on his way to that cross, he had to get people in line, get people to follow him, which is basically what regular people right now have to do when you have somebody in charge that wants to cause destruction. When you on a path of peace, on this path of demonstrating the most high, the creator, the next person up that is God like, that will be ready to go, you have to find that person. You have to not be intimidated by that person stepping up. And that's how I believe that strongly. It's never going to be like that reference, exactly how that reference in that book. If you try to replay that reference in that book, they started hanging black men from them crosses and burning those crosses. That got replayed so many times. I don't know how people don't understand that was not it. They was hanging people on crosses in the 1800s, the 1900s. After they did the Declaration of Independence, all this stuff was done. Burning churches, burning crosses on people's fields, all kind of stuff they was doing to recreate the Bible so they could gain attention and gain some kind of clarity on that Bible that was created clearly by Europeans, stolen from high level God-like people from Africa, Asia, or South America, wherever they was creating this world, in the Middle East, wherever they was creating these beginning of time things or stories. So we're gonna continue. Anytime you share the word of God, I don't know what he was saying when he said that, but I was trying to write quickly. So he just was speaking on some high level stuff when it comes to I guess like being consistent on speaking on God, being a consistent follower, and I guess that was kind of what it was speaking on. Oh, another thing he was saying was you have to be you have to anticipate like that being able to change when God calls, when that spirit of God comes into the realm or come into the situation. This situation that's going on right now. You have to be able to anticipate it, and that's how you know you're more on the side of the Most High, the Creator, the person that wants things to go in the way of peace and not war. For the much, it's things that have to be corrected clearly, but that spirit of having that care and that gratitude and that whole combination of what we would describe as God like. Jesus' mission was to use the entire demonic spirit via his reaper to overthrow the spirit of the Jesus' mission was to overthrow the demonic spirit via the rebirth. So when he got his rebirth, it was used to clear out the demonic world, to end evilness. That's what that would be, rebirth was for. And this is what he was speaking on. This is not kind of my word. This is his word. So I'm trying to change. I don't want people to sound like I'm too opinionated or anything like that. I don't want to sound like I'm even the most eligible person to call myself the most high. But I do know my ratio of predicting things and being able to see things in the beginning, anticipating things. So these are the stuff that spoke to me out the gate. I'm not gonna go too much into it. You know what I'm gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to handle some. I'm actually gonna do a part 2 later on today. I got time today. I don't. The stuff that went on this morning, I'm not gonna let it shake me or break me. So we finna move on. We finna elevate. I got some stuff to do. That's gonna be it. This is gonna be a part 2. If I don't do it today, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And I just got some errands to run as a grown man. I might have a haircut and all before when I come back. So just got to get stuff lined up. I don't want to lose focus on what I was gonna do. Nobody not gonna get me off my trajectory of why I'm in Washington D.C. at all. So we gonna leave it at that. This is part one. And this is Dynasty the Podcast Show. I am your host, Ira Thomas Bush IV. And I'll talk to y'all later, or I will get to y'all tomorrow.